Here, scattered like jewels in the heart of the Indian Ocean, lies an archipelago that has perfected the art of the first impression, the Seychelles, a name that conjures images of impossible beauty, of granite giants tumbling into sapphire seas, and of a tranquility so profound it feels like the edge of the world. It's the planet's default screensaver, the ultimate definition of paradise. But that image, that perfect, glossy fantasy, is a carefully curated masterpiece. The truth is far more complex, more challenging, and infinitely more fascinating. Welcome to Life in Facts documentary. And 20 mind-blowing facts about the Seychelles they don't want you to know. Every subtitle in this film appears with yellow highlighting, for clarity. Fact 1. The paradise you think you know is only half the story. The image sold in glossy brochures is real, but it's a fragile veneer painted over a complex reality. Behind every infinity pool and five-star meal is a nation grappling with the immense challenges of its own isolation. This isn't a country with sprawling farmlands or industrial heartlands. It's a nation of 115 islands where almost everything that sustains modern life, from construction materials and fuel for electricity to the very food on your plate, must be imported across thousands of miles of ocean. This logistical lifeline is both expensive and precarious, dictating the cost of living and shaping the national economy. And then there's the ecological balance. The same unique biodiversity that draws visitors is incredibly vulnerable. So the true Seychelles isn't just a tourist destination, it's a living laboratory. It's a dynamic system where dedicated scientists, conservation groups, and the government work in a constant, delicate dance of stewardship, protecting endemic species and fragile marine parks from the pressures of climate change and human activity. This is the unseen effort that keeps paradise intact. Fact 2. From pirates to paradise, the nation's history is as dramatic as its landscape. For most of human history, these islands were a ghost story on the sea charts of Arab dhows and European explorers, uninhabited, mysterious, and untouched. Their first permanent residents weren't settlers, but outlaws. In the 18th century, the archipelago's labyrinthine coves and natural harbors became the perfect sanctuary for pirates raiding the lucrative trade routes of the Indian Ocean. The most famous of them, Olivier Levasseur, known as La Bouze, allegedly hid a treasure here so vast it's still sought after today. His legend, complete with a cryptic treasure map, haunts the nation's folklore, a permanent reminder of its lawless beginnings. Formal settlement only began in 1770 when the French arrived, claiming the islands and establishing spice plantations powered by the labor of enslaved Africans. After the Napoleonic Wars, the islands were ceded to Britain, adding another layer to their cultural fabric. For nearly 2 centuries, the Seychelles were a remote colonial outpost, a waypoint, a hideout, a rumor, before finally gaining independence in 1976. It is a young nation, still forging its identity from a complex past of pirates, slavery, and empires. Fact 3. It is one of Earth's most profoundly isolated nations. Located about 1,000 miles or 1,600 kilometers off the coast of Kenya, the Seychelles are adrift in the immense blue expanse of the Indian Ocean. This isn't a quick flight from a neighboring country. It's a journey to a world apart. This profound distance is the single most defining factor of Seychellois life. It shapes everything: the rhythm of the seasons, the cost of a carton of milk, the flow of information, and the very psyche of its people. Think about it. The fuel powering the inter-island ferry, the medicine in the pharmacy, the smartphone in your hand, nearly every single manufactured good has undertaken an epic journey by sea or air to get here. This dependency makes self-reliance more than just a mantra. It's a daily necessity. It elevates the importance of the local fisherman's catch, the produce from a backyard garden, and the national conversation around food security and renewable energy. This isolation fosters a powerful sense of community and a unique Creole identity, born from a shared history and the collective challenge of thriving in a beautiful but demanding environment. You're watching Life in Facts documentary. We've seen how isolation and history have shaped this island nation, but the secrets run much deeper, all the way down to the bedrock of the planet itself. Stay with us, let's count them down. Next up, the geological miracle that makes these islands the only ones of their kind on Earth. This is a story of ancient stone and a modern nation, Where continental granite meets tropical coral, life explodes in a riot of diversity. Isolation, pirates, and the paradox of paradise, and we're just getting started. Fact 4 is a geological mic drop that rewrites the map of the world. Fact 4. The inner Seychelles are the world's only mid-oceanic granitic islands. They are, in essence, fragments of a lost continent, marooned in the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean. This unique geology tells a story that begins hundreds of millions of years ago. Around 150 million years ago, the supercontinent Gondwana began to fracture. As the landmass that would become India drifted north, breaking away from Africa and Madagascar, a tiny sliver of continental crust was left behind. These peaks are the last visible relics of the submerged Mascarene Plateau, a microcontinent hidden beneath the waves. Unlike the fiery volcanic birth of most oceanic islands, the Seychelles are built on a foundation of weathered Precambrian granite, some of Earth's oldest exposed rocks, over 750 million years old. This ancient stone is the artist behind the iconic scenery, the dramatic glacier-smooth boulders that frame the beaches, the steep, jungle-clad mountains, and the freshwater streams that carve their way to the sea, a feature entirely absent from the younger coral-based outer islands. This is continental rock, holding the memory of a time before oceans. Fact 5. This unique natural heritage is fiercely guarded. Over half of the Seychelles' total land area is legally protected, one of the highest ratios on the planet. This commitment has earned the nation 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the legendary Vallée de Mai, and the extraordinary Aldabra Atoll. This protective instinct extends far out to sea. In a landmark initiative, the nation designated 30% of its vast exclusive economic zone as marine protected areas. These zones are not just lines on a map, they are actively managed to safeguard critical coral reefs, seagrass meadows and fish stocks, ensuring the ocean's health for future generations and creating a global benchmark for marine stewardship. Nowhere is this commitment more vital than at Aldabra Atoll. A UNESCO World Heritage Giant, it is one of the largest raised coral atolls on Earth. Its extreme isolation has kept it largely untouched by human influence, creating a living laboratory for evolution. The massive lagoon fills and empties twice a day, creating powerful tidal currents that support a staggering abundance of life. From tiger sharks patrolling the channels to the world's second-largest colony of frigate birds, it is a world unto itself. Fact 6. And on Aldabra and several other islands, giant tortoises roam like the true locals they are. These gentle giants are more than just a tourist attraction. They're crucial ecosystem engineers, actively shaping the world around them. For centuries, their grazing has created and maintained a unique habitat known as tortoise turf, a mix of specific grasses and herbs that supports other smaller species. They carve permanent trails through the vegetation, which act as natural fire breaks and channels for rainwater. By consuming native fruits and traveling long distances, they serve as the island's most effective seed dispersers, ensuring the regeneration of the forest. Yet their survival is a story of near catastrophe and remarkable recovery. While the isolated Aldabra population endured, tortoises on the granitic islands were hunted to extinction by the 19th century. The populations seen today on islands like Creole and North Island are the result of a bold and successful conservation experiment, the reintroduction of Aldabra tortoises to fill the ecological void they left behind. Their presence is a living testament to a conservation philosophy that seeks not just to protect, but to restore. Fact 7. From a giant reptile to a feathered whisper, we find another symbol of Seychellois resilience, the Seychelles black parrot. Its name is a slight misnomer. It is a subtle, slate-gray bird, elusive, and easily missed against the forest canopy. It is the national bird, and one of the rarest parrots on Earth. Its entire world is the island of Praslin, and its fate is inextricably linked to the ancient palm forests of the Vallée de Mai. For decades, its existence was precarious. With its population plummeting, it faced habitat loss and fierce competition for nesting sites from invasive species like the Indian myna. A dedicated hands-on conservation effort was launched. Scientists and rangers began installing specially designed, predator-proof nest boxes and managing invasive competitors. Thanks to these targeted protections, the parrot was pulled back from the brink. From a low of perhaps 150 individuals in the late 20th century, the population has rebounded to a more stable, though still precious count of between 500 and 900 birds. Each one is a symbol of a fragile, hard-won success. So we have a foundation of continental granite, a nationwide conservation ethos, a reptilian landscape architect, and a resilient national bird. This geological duality, inner mountains with soil and streams, outer atolls built from the skeletons of marine life, defines the entire archipelago. It dictates what can grow, where fresh water is found, and how life adapts. It's a story of endurance and vulnerability, written in ancient stone and in the heartbeats of its rarest creatures. Life here is a delicate balance, a testament to both immense geological time and the urgent hands-on work of a single generation. But the story of Seychelles is not just one of nature, it is profoundly human. From these wild landscapes, we now turn to the culture they have nurtured, a society shaped by isolation, resourcefulness, and the rhythms of the sea. We'll investigate a seat of myth, a capital with a human pulse, and the economic realities of life in this remote paradise. Because Seychelles contains stories you won't find on any postcard. Onward. Fact 8. The Coco de Mer, the world's largest and heaviest seed, born only on Praslin and Curios. Its iconic shape sparked centuries of myth before explorers traced it here. Trade is tightly regulated. Each seed is registered to protect wild populations. Fact 9. Victoria is among Africa's smallest capitals, compact, walkable, and personal. A silver clock tower from 1903 watches over a city of 26,000 with a village soul. Here, fish, fruit, and friendly faces power daily life. Fact 10. Seychelles ranks among Africa's highest in GDP per capita, driven by tourism and offshore services. Protecting nature isn't just ethics, it underwrites national income, but averages mass inequality and high living costs, borne by locals. Fact 11. No standing army. Security rests with police, coast guard, and diplomacy. They protect a massive exclusive economic zone from illegal fishing and trafficking. Alliances amplify capabilities without militarizing paradise. Seeds of myth, tiny capital, big income, and peace by design. Next, Creole identity and a symphony of tongues. Plus, weather that can flip the script in minutes. Culture here is a living blend. Audible, edible, and unmissable. Feel the rhythm? That's Creole. Fact 12 awaits. Fact 12. Creole culture blends African, French, Indian, and Chinese threads into a resilient identity. Heritage lives in architecture, law, cuisine, and everyday warmth, from mucha rhythms to slow-simmered curries, history you can hear and taste. Fact 13. 3 official languages, Seychellois Creole, English and French, spoken fluidly every day. Creole is the mother tongue. English runs government and business. French sustains cultural prestige. Tourism adds Italian, German, Hindi, and Chinese to the island chorus. Fact 14. Southeast trades and northwest monsoon flip seasons. Microclimates change weather street by street. Downpours can trigger flash floods and slides where hillsides are exposed. Here, everyone reads the sky like a calendar. Fact 15. Strong bans on single-use plastics, bags, straws, and more. Keep beaches pristine. Strict coral protections forbid touching or removing coral, alive or dead. Laws plus community action keep Eden alive. Culture is connection, spoken, shared, and protected. Next, the energy pivot that builds independence, and the passport that opens the world. We're entering the home stretch. 6 facts to go. Onward to renewables, realities, and reach. Fact 16. Seychelles is rapidly expanding solar and wind to cut imported fuel dependence. Wind complements solar, diversifying a small but growing clean energy mix. Outer Isles prove 100% renewable microgrids can power life off the main grid. Fact 17. Isolation makes daily life expensive. Food, fuel, and materials are mostly imported. Limited land drives up rents and property prices, especially on inner islands. Tourism seasonality can mean unstable income for many workers. Fact 18. Among Africa's most powerful passports, extensive visa-free access reflects smart diplomacy. Mobility opens doors for study, business, and cultural exchange. A bridge between remote islands and the wider world. Power from the sun, pressures on households, and power in a passport. Next, what travelers really pay, and why. 2 cost-focused truths that define paradise. Fact 19. In the Seychelles, the most exclusive form of luxury is woven directly into the fabric of conservation. Dotted across the archipelago are a handful of private islands, names like North Island, Frégate, and De Roche, that operate on a unique model. Ultra-low volume, high-value tourism. These are not sprawling resorts but intimate retreats with a mere handful of villas, designed for those who seek absolute privacy, from global celebrities to royal families. Reaching these sanctuaries is an experience in itself. Access is almost exclusively by private helicopter or chartered launch, a journey that underscores their profound isolation. Here, privacy isn't just a promise, it's a geographical certainty. Surrounded by the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean, these islands function as natural fortresses, shielding their guests and their fragile ecosystems from the outside world. But this luxury has a profound purpose. The staggering price tag isn't just for a lavish villa, it's a direct investment in ecological healing. Many of these islands were once degraded by colonial-era agriculture. Today, a significant portion of their revenue, often managed through dedicated conservation levies paid by each guest, funds ambitious rewilding projects. This is conservation on a grand scale, a reversal of centuries of damage. The work is meticulous. It involves the complete eradication of invasive species like rats, which prey on native wildlife. It means painstakingly reintroducing endemic trees, rebuilding the island's original flora. It supports dedicated breeding programs for the Aldabra giant tortoise, creating secure satellite populations. And beneath the waves, it funds coral nurseries and scientific partnerships with universities, turning these islands into living laboratories for reef restoration. This principle of value over volume extends to the entire nation, which brings us to fact 20. A trip to the Seychelles is a significant investment, by design. The country has deliberately chosen a path of sustainable tourism, avoiding the pitfalls of mass-market travel to protect its fragile environment. This philosophy is reflected in the cost of accommodation. While you can find charming local guest houses, even mid-range hotel rooms often start at several €100 per night. At the top end, luxury resort suites and private villas can easily run into the thousands. The cost of daily life for a visitor can also be surprising. A modest lunch at a simple seaside cafe can easily cost between 25 and 40 euros. A dinner at a resort restaurant will often start near 60 euros per person and can climb much higher. This isn't arbitrary pricing, it's the logistical reality of a remote island nation. Nearly all goods, from fuel and building materials to the very ingredients on your plate, must be imported across vast ocean distances, incurring significant shipping costs and a 15% value-added tax. For a more authentic and budget-friendly meal, many visitors and locals alike turn to the ubiquitous takeaway stalls, which offer delicious Creole curries and grilled fish for a fraction of the restaurant price. It's a glimpse into the real cost of food, and a taste of the local culture. Exploring the archipelago also adds to the budget. Island hopping between the main islands of Mahé, Praslin and La Digue is an essential part of the Seychelles experience, but it comes at a price. High-speed ferries and domestic flights are efficient, but the cost of fuel, vessel maintenance in a corrosive saltwater environment, and staffing all contribute to ticket prices that are higher than what one might expect. But here is where the cost of a Seychelles holiday transforms into a direct contribution. A significant portion of a tourist's budget goes directly to preserving the very paradise they've come to see. Entry fees to national parks are a prime example. The fee to enter the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Vallée de Mai, home of the legendary Coco de Mer, isn't just an admission ticket. It pays the salaries of the rangers who protect the forest, funds research into the palm's unique biology, and maintains the trails that allow visitors to experience this prehistoric wonder without harming it. This user-pays model extends across the islands. Fees for marine parks like Saint-Anne directly fund mooring buoy projects that prevent anchor damage to coral reefs. The cost of a guided diving or snorkeling excursion covers not only the boat and equipment, but also the expertise of a guide trained in reef-friendly practices, who educates visitors on how to interact with marine life responsibly. Even the customary 10 to 15% tip left for good service plays a vital role, directly supporting local families and creating a strong incentive for high-quality, sustainable hospitality. And so, we arrive at the heart of the Seychelles story. It is a place where geology, ecology, and economy are not separate forces, but are inextricably interlocked. a delicate and often expensive equation written in turquoise and granite. The nation's isolation, a consequence of its ancient geological journey from Gondwana, is both its greatest vulnerability and its most powerful shield. It has fostered a biosphere of unparalleled uniqueness, but also created an economic reality where self-sufficiency is a constant challenge. The icons of this land, the ancient, lumbering tortoise, a symbol of resilience, the elusive black parrot, a testament to fragility, the mythic Coco de Mer, an emblem of its singular identity, are more than mere tourist attractions. They are a sacred trust. They represent a natural inheritance so precious that the nation has fundamentally structured its society and its blue economy around their protection. This is a burden of stewardship shouldered by every Seychellois. Every park fee, every fishing restriction, every plastic ban, every land use policy is a deliberate choice made to keep this trust intact. It is a national commitment to ensure that the Seychelles that is passed to the next generation is just as wondrous, if not more so, than the one inherited. It is a responsibility that extends to every visitor, who, through their spending, becomes a temporary custodian of this paradise, a partner in its preservation. The high costs and strict rules are not imperfections in paradise, they are the very architecture of its survival. Because in the Seychelles, they understand a fundamental truth. Paradise isn't found, it's forged. It isn't perfect, it's protected. And while that protection isn't cheap, its value is, and always will be, priceless. This was Life in Facts documentary. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more deep dive documentaries and let us know in the comments which Seychelles fact surprised you the most. All subtitles in this film use yellow highlighting for easy viewing. See you in the next episode of Life in Facts documentary.